being able to deliver 500 or 1,000 pounds of bombs onto a target with great accuracy. With the support of the team from Firewalkers International Pyro Team, we are going to see quite a few improved. Their aircraft carries the name of Rosie's Reply. Pioneer Major General William Billy Mitchell was an aircraft that served not only during the European theater of operations, but also that of the Pacific theater as well, including the famous Doolittle raid in April of 1942, where 16 of these B-25s launched off the USS Carrier Hornet in order to strike targets in Japan, that being the first Allied attack on the Japanese enemy. As the B-25 repositions for another hot pass from our left. Down below, as part of our battlefield reenactment now, the ground troops continued their advance from the left, the Americans, to the right, the German forces. And you will see, as the B-25 flies overhead, the sight. Down the line in front of us, the M2 half-track. You can see those tracks on the back of the vehicle. It was during the European theater in which American and Allied troops engaged over a great deal of varying terrain, from the rural farm advantage that increasingly turned the tide of battle on the ground and high above the control of the skies, with aircraft including the B-25 Mitchell and momentarily the P-51 Mustang. The B-25 continues its racetrack pattern, supporting the Allied forces on the ground high above it. An aircraft considered to be one of the airplanes that helped end World War II, the North American P-51 Mustang. This being a rare C-model Mustang, painted in the colors and paying tribute to that of the Tuskegee Airmen 4 Mitchells and our B-24 Liberators deep into Hitler's German heartland. It was finally an aircraft, after its introduction in 1944, that helped reduce casualty rates for those bomber crews, because it finally had the range and the firepower to support once they crossed beyond that beyond finished line. Ultimately, the P-51 reduced those casualty rates by over 75%, earning it the nickname Little Friend. And the firepower to strafe enemy targets on the ground, just as you will see demonstrated in a couple of short moments from now. As the ground battle ensues and continues in front of us, they have made the call for additional air power support, as needed by the P-51 Mustang. The B-25 continuing its runs from the left, and you will notice the bomb bay door open as they make their bombing runs from left to right. Efforts on the ground, working its way into the battlefield area of operations, is the M5A1 MPA1 Stuart tank. Sounds and even the smells of war during that time in the 1940s in Europe. Often B-25 bombing crews would launch with a great fleet of aircraft, upwards up to 15, 20, or maybe 30 of these aircraft at altitude to strike one target. B-51 Mustangs being flown by U.S. Army Air Corps units in Europe, including that of the Tuskegee Airmen, would be called in to support the escort of those bombers, and often on their trips home from those escort missions. One Mustang, it was outfitted with 6 50 caliber Browning machine guns, which made it not only great for air-to-air engagements, but also air-to-ground. Now the P-51 is cleared in hot from the left. P-51 going by in that low-angle straight pass. You can imagine being a German soldier on the receiving end of that attack. The sound of that burled engine overhead, followed by the rattle of those 50 calibers tearing through the line. Few things broke an offensive position faster than that of air power. Airstrikes like the ones that you are seeing simulated today for Allied infantry opened the door to move forward. German machine guns at strong points neutralized from the air. The ground forces could press their advantage as you see them doing before you now. The P-51 Mustang, considered by many to be as American as apple pie and baseball, and after its design in 1944, truly gave the Allies a great advantage in turning the tide of battle. Originally, as a request from the British Royal Air Force, the RAF, they were looking for aircraft early in World War II after the Battle of Britain in 1940 to supplement their Supermarine Spitfires and Hawker Hurricanes. They approached the United States for the effort to support them with this P-41 to a new aircraft in just 117 days from pen on paper to a flying prototype. The first P-51 Mustang took to the sky, and it very much turned the tide of battle. Powered by that Rolls-Royce designed Packard-built B-12. The Tuskegee Airmen going on to fly over 50 most capable pursuit fighter. In the depths of history, Some stories stand out for their courage and spirit. The tale of the Tuskegee Airmen is one such story, a story of valor that soared above the dark clouds of prejudice.